When will you determine the pitchers for next weekend? Or have you?
When will?
Yeah.
We've got a rotation in line. I mean, we'll make that announcement when it's appropriate, but we've got pitchers that are on track throwing that'll pick up, so everybody knows when they're pitching in line. You mean for the games?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sooner than later.
Will Karstens be building enough innings as a starter? Or will he be more one-inning guy?
No. We're going to build up volume innings with Karstens, no doubt about it. We've got a handful of guys that are not just, in that spot for the fifth rotation, but it could be a long man out of the pen that we've got to make sure when we get to the middle of March that they've got innings pitched, and a lot of them have had an ample opportunity to compete. You've got to pay attention to your innings. You've only got so many, and you don't always want to try and recreate with B games. If you do got to go that way, you can get your older guys that you figure might have job secure, some job security in pitching those games and amp up the innings in the A games for those guys that are in some competition. But we're definitely going to look for spots for him, 2 and 35, 3 and 50, that type of opportunity for you.
Doing something on Beimel. How much is it, not just when you hand him the baseball out there, but how much is getting him in here and what he can do for you in that clubhouse, Clint?
I've never had the opportunity to hand him the baseball, so I'm looking forward to that.
But both sides of it.
Just watching him from afar, I've watched a guy grow into his role. I've watched him gain confidence with his time that he spent on the mound. I've watched a guy execute his craft, self-confidence rise. He's performed well against teams I've had in the past. He's got a history of being a guy that can pitch, that you can use multiple times. We're not going to try and break him, but he likes the ball. He's gotten some big outs. He's pitching some big games, and he's one of those guys that he's got a good look. He's got an edge to him that he carries without even opening his mouth. And he's not a big talker. He's a doer. And I think the guys in the locker room are starting to gravitate towards that a little bit. He doesn't need pom-poms to lead. He goes about his business in a very professional fashion.
Is there a sense, though, that sometimes guys are pigeonholed into a lefty specialist and he can get everybody out, not just one side?
It happens in the game. I don't know of any manager that stops giving the guy a ball when he's getting outs. But you do see sometimes that guys will go through those bridges of right-handers and pitch a complete inning. And then maybe, I don't know, the height of the importance or maybe the way a lineup's stacked, and maybe he just gets a large volume of left-handers. I've seen him do both. We have confidence in him being able to pitch an inning, not just to come in and be a left-on-left specialist. We anticipate him being able to carry a larger load than that.
Gotcha.
How familiar were you with Steve Pierce before you got here, and is he a guy whose approach can suit the bench eventual, or is he somebody that you want to get every day at bats?
Well, I was able, he came on the radar. I think he caught a lot of people off guard when he showed up. What was it? Was it 09, 8? And that's when in the National League, we're like, who is this guy? We watched some tape, and my pitching coach just kept telling, I don't know who he is, but the ball's coming off his barrel a lot. So his presence was felt early. I think, there's been some delay with some injuries and some things going along, but he's definitely got a skill set that he's played a lot when he's played in the minor leagues. Up here, the volume of reps, that's still open for debate. But to have the ability to play on a corner, to go in the outfield, to be a bat off the bench, you got to like his makeup. You got to like the way he gets out after the drills and just the things I've seen. I think he's also another guy that's coming here to prove something. He's got an edge on it. He's got an edge with him, a chip on his shoulder that he expects more out of himself, and he has kind of been hamstrung by the injury. So his health is going to be critical to everything he does, and he's feeling really good right now. And I look forward to seeing what he can bring to the club.
You speak to guys like that. Is Wimberly another guy such as that?
Yeah, I think I had that conversation yesterday.
I'm sorry.
No, that's quite all right. You weren't here. No, I was just trying to replay the tape in my mind. There's no doubt. I think we've seen the game goes in cycles, and I do think you've seen the cycle play out with a guy with game-changing speed on the bench. He played out huge, dramatically in a playoff series with Dave Roberts one time. I think last year, the Giants, we had to prepare for a kid named Ford. Late they added the postseason based on the value of game-changing speed. Corey's versatility in the field is a plus. The challenges for us is to be able to evaluate him at shortstop and center field, also along with the other positions he plays. I probably know him more just by being around him and actually getting to see him play. I had him for a short time in the Rockies when he was coming up with Chone, Figgins, and Juan Pierre. But I'm looking forward to moving him, getting him on the field, moving him around, and watching what he can do when he gets on base. Is he a guy that you can call in the 8th or 9th inning when you get a guy on base that's going to steal a base when everybody's anticipated a base being stolen? It's not a skill you can teach, and it's good to have those guys on your club.
Is it true that speed never slumps? I mean, whereas a guy who you count on to go out there and bang it around, he may slump, but a guy who can run, you can always count on that?
Well, you can always count on him running. Now, can you count on him getting on base? That plays itself out in different ways. There's a lot of fast guys that aren't in the game anymore because they couldn't strike the ball well enough consistency to get themselves on base. He's not that guy. He has the ability with his stroke to fall in the category you're talking about. A prolonged slump for Corey, I'm sure there hasn't been very many for him, because with your ability to bunt, your ability to stay on top of the ball, hit ground balls, beat them out, he's got a skill that not many have.
It's a career .302 hitter in the minors. You surprised he's never gotten a chance at this level?
Surprised, maybe a little bit. A lot of it's timing. And this could be Corey's time. I mean, that's why we went out and got him. We had talked about him in a couple different avenues over the winter, and then we were able to make a trade for him. And to his credit, delay doesn't mean denial. He's persevered. He hasn't felt, he hasn't taken maybe feeling being passed over on the field with him. He's continued to go out and do what he needs to do to make himself attractive, whatever organization he's been with, or other people that have been watching.
Have his feet grown at all since the last time you saw him?
His feet have not grown.
You said you used to kid him all the time.
I told him I'll go to WeBox tonight in the mall and pick him up a pair of shoes. He is here for a reason like so many other guys. He was looking for a fit with somebody, some team, some organization that would be open-minded enough to let him come in and compete for a job, and that's what we're doing.
It seems he has that trait too. I mean, there's more to stealing, taking a base, or going first to third than just having some speed. You got to have, I guess, the smarts to see him, also the confidence. I mean, the last thing, if that ball's in the dirt, you don't want to hesitate for a second. He's a chance.
He's going to lead with his chin when he's on the bases, and what I mean by that, he's going to be very aggressive. He does their fear. I don't think there's much fear of Corey at all once he gets on base. He's looking to take a base. He's looking to get the extra base. That guy at first base in the 9th inning, if you pinch run for him, also that little bloop gap double or something like that, he's going to score. A lot of guys aren't going to score. He's going to have the ability to score on that ball. And it's a no-read situation on second base. If you can get him there on a base hit, he's going to score on a base hit. Where there wouldn't be a play. But he's very aggressive. He's got good game awareness on the base as far as making good decisions.
And you talked earlier this week about, last week, about speed in general in base running. I guess that's sort of what you want to see spread throughout the team, is that aggressiveness, the lack of hesitation, I guess, on the bases, knowing when to go.
We are going to encourage all our guys, once the game starts, to find out what they can do on the bases. Not decide for them already what they can't do. I'm not that smart, first of all. We've got a bunch of young talent. We've got guys that are out to prove things. We want to be known as a club that's going to first and third you. When you think of clubs like that, you think of the Twins, you think of the Angels, you think of the Rays. We want to move ourselves into that category. We want to be able to shoot the 4-hole on a base hit, and that runner on first is going to get to third. We want people to know that a runner on second, we're coming home. Anytime on first, we're going to third. So we're encouraging everybody in spring training. Don't rely so much upon Nick. We're telling you, a base hit and you're on first base, we want you to get to third unless it's just so evident that there's just no option. So that's a big step forward for us this year. It's a huge way for us to close the separation and do some things on the bases that we weren't doing last year for whatever reason.
Opposing pitchers hate that too, because that just extends innings, the pitch counts up.
No, there's no doubt about it. And anytime you can take that extra base and not be on first and get to second, you stay out of the double play. We're always looking for we're going to be looking for the defense to stop us, not for us just to decide that we can't.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks.